What's up guys, how's it going? Welcome to this new video. Today my friends, I'm going to share with you 8 of the latest new games I've been trying out. I hope at least one of these video games catches your interest and that you have some fun with it. If so, don't forget to drop a like, and if none of them appeal to you, well, it's also fair to leave a dislike. Alright then, let's get into the games because this is going to be... If you've ever wanted to be a furry horse to race your friends in platform-style stages, in this game you can actually be the furry horse, but you can also be a dog, a chicken, and other completely nonsensical animals. The stages are kind of 2D platformer-like, but also full of parkour, obstacles, traps, and pretty much anything you can imagine. In total, there are 15 different stages where you can compete, but if you want, you can create your own levels by adding obstacles, traps, and whatever you like. You can then share these custom stages online, so you and your friends can play on your map and race to see who's the real champion. Another cool thing is that besides playing online, you can also play on local network without an internet connection, with up to 4 players. And if it's that good, then why did I put it in spot number 8? Well, sadly, it's only a demo version that lets you play a little and try the experience. If you want the full game, you'll need to pay for it. But honestly, in my opinion, it's 100% worth it. Definitely recommended. For spot number 7, we have a beat-em-up video game in the style of a retro arcade machine. It's pretty solid, and it has controller support. You can even play 2 players on the same device if you have 2 controllers. Gameplay is simple since it's designed to mimic an old-school arcade game. You basically just have 4 buttons: jump, punch, and special moves. Strangely enough, instead of draining your energy, the special moves actually drain your health. It's a really unusual mechanic that forces you to manage your health carefully. You can choose different difficulty levels, there's a full campaign that leads you all the way to the final boss, and you can unlock different characters with unique techniques. It's excellent. The only downside is that, just like the previous entry, it's only a demo. You can play a bit for free, but eventually you'll need to pay for the full game. Still, it's definitely a great title, especially if you enjoy retro arcade-style games. Highly recommended. Last time I had already shared a video game similar to this one, but you know how it is on Android. Once one comes out, suddenly you see tons of clones. I don't know why, but I actually like this one a bit more. Plus I found it harder. The game is basically about climbing a mountain and reaching the top, but the whole gameplay revolves around your health bar. Your health bar is also your stamina bar, your hunger bar, and even your weight bar. Basically, everything is tied together, and that's where the challenge comes in. For example, if you carry too many items or start getting really hungry, your bar begins to fill with these negative energies, and your stamina drops. This stamina is super important, because when you start climbing, if you run out halfway through, you fall and, of course, you take damage. And that damage reduces your health bar even further. Along the way, you'll find suitcases with different kinds of food. Each one has its own properties. Some simply reduce hunger, others give you energy, and some have other useful effects. The thing is, you have to choose your own path to climb the mountain. And the mountain is huge and really complex. It looks simple, but trust me, it's a lot of fun. You can't help but want to reach the top. Spot number 5. We have a combat aircraft video game. But this one does not try to be a simulator. It's simply a combat aircraft game with unrealistic physics and easy-to-use controls. That doesn't mean it's a bad game, quite the opposite. It's actually very good. It's just that if you like flight simulators, then this one is not for you. The game only offers 3 modes. The campaign mode, which gives you missions. You go in, complete the mission, and earn your rewards. Survival mode, where you must endure with only 1 life against endless waves of enemies for as long as you can. And an online multiplayer mode that is a free-for-all. The only downside of this multiplayer mode is that you can't play with friends, you're just placed into rooms automatically. With the money you earn, you can buy new planes and customize the one you have with different skins. As I said, it's not a very complex video game. In fact, it's quite simple, and so are the controls, but the quality is excellent. Definitely a recommended game. For spot number 4, we have a zombie shooter video game. It's one of those games where your character stays in the middle of the stage, completely static, while the enemies come at you. All you do is attack them by aiming and shooting. It features a mission campaign that you progress through. As you advance, the game becomes more challenging, with faster and more destructive zombies appearing, but you'll also be able to purchase new and better weapons. On top of that, there are some special powers for your weapons. For example, explosive bullets that stick to zombies and then detonate after a short delay. Poison bullets, fire bullets, and several other upgrades are also available. I like these types of games because they're very simple, yet they offer surprisingly good graphics quality. Plus, they're fast-paced, you just aim, shoot, and enjoy yourself for a while. Definitely a recommended game. For the third spot, we have a horror video game with an atmosphere based on Indian legends. I don't fully understand the story since I'm not familiar with what those specific fears or myths are, but basically we arrive at something like a temple where we'll need to survive the enemy that dwells there, defeat it, and then escape the place. The idea is that this enemy we face is something like a possessed person or creature, and it follows the classic horror game style, where you need to explore the entire area, find pieces, keys, and codes. Then you use these items to unlock other doors and keep progressing. It has pretty decent graphics and overall looks good. Plus, it doesn't require an internet connection. Definitely a recommended game. In second place, we have a video game that combines survival with horror. We find ourselves in the middle of the countryside, and the goal is to survive the freezing nights. But it's not only the cold that threatens us, it's also the ghosts and enemies coming after us. The only things that can keep us safe are a campfire or light sources. So we have a small campsite with a place to sleep and a fire that needs to be constantly fed. During the day, we must go out and explore, gather resources, and look for items that could be useful. Above all, the main objective is to find the remains of 4 children who were killed. Once you find all 4, the game ends. But of course, the difficulty increases with each one you discover. The first makes it harder, the second even more, then the third, and so on. Along the way, you'll be able to collect materials to craft useful items for your character, such as axes, pickaxes, lamps, and upgrades. It's a very good game, though I did find a couple of bugs since it's still very new. Still, with a few updates, it's sure to improve and easily become a 10 out of 10. Definitely recommended. In first place, and to wrap up this ranking, we have a World War II video game. It's a strategy game where you start with a certain amount of money and each soldier costs a specific amount. You can recruit everything from infantry soldiers, snipers, and generals to powerful war tanks. The objective is to place your troops strategically, and then the battle begins, working almost like a simulated war scenario. But here's the twist. You can also take direct control of any of your soldiers and play the battle in first-person mode. There are 2 militias you can choose from, each with its own campaign and levels. As you progress through these levels, you earn money that can be spent on upgrading your existing troops or recruiting new ones that you'll need later on. Another feature is the sandbox mode, where you can even play with 2 players on the same device. In this mode, you set up both armies, deploy troops, design the battlefield however you want, placing houses, bridges, rivers, or anything you can imagine, and then start the fight. So, you can enjoy it purely as a strategy game or dive into action with first-person gameplay. The graphics are also surprisingly high quality. Oh, and one more thing, when advancing through the campaign, you also uncover bits of the storyline, which adds more depth and polish to the experience. Definitely a little hidden gem worth recommending. And well, that's it, my friends. Over and out.